I'm your friend, and it's the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Today, we're talking about friendship in the squared circle. Friendship! What an important thing for humans. It grounds us. It makes us know that we are wanted and need to exist in the universe. Friends validate you. Friends call you out on your nonsense. Friends take your nonsense and don't judge you for it. Friends are an amazing thing. If you don't have friends, go out and get some. If you have some, go tell them you love them. That's right. Tell your friends that you love them because they need to hear that. Trust me. The same can be said for wrestlers in the squared circle. Wrestlers need friends too. They do all the same good things for them. It validates them. They call them out on their nonsense. They keep them grounded. There's nothing more important in wrestling than friendship. Because what happens when you get a 5-on-1 beatdown? You want someone sprinting from the back to come take that beating with you. What happens when you have a tag match coming up and you don't have a partner? You go ask your friends. Friendship in wrestling is super malleable. It can be twisted and contorted. You can always kind of go back to it, like friendship in real life, because wrestling isn't real. It's real to me. But friends in WWE, AEW, you name it, pro wrestling in general, tend to take a beating. Friendships take a beating. I think the SmackDown that just passed, where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn finally reunited through the help of therapist Cody Rhodes, was touching. It was a little not forced. It was a little fast, their turnaround, but it was genuine, and I appreciated it. It is something that you would hear from a friend. If you hurt your friend's feelings, and then you told them, look, we don't have to be friends, but I just need your help with this thing. Do you know how much that stings? You're telling me we don't need to be friends? Why don't we need to be friends? We were friends before. Why can't we be friends now? And that's what Kevin Owens said. He's like, why would I want to fight for someone who doesn't even want to be my friend? Oh, the heartstrings. You can see it felt like like a schoolyard argument. He's like, why would I even want to be friends with that guy anymore? He doesn't want to be friends with me. And there's nothing more human than that. That's why it played so well. And everything in that SmackDown played out exactly how it should have. Or I didn't even care that it was kind of fast. You know what? Let me take that back. It wasn't fast. They've been building to this for a while, obviously. But for the past couple of weeks, Kevin Owens has been walking away from Sami. But I think this moment was very genuine, and it felt real. And when they finally, came together as a team and are obviously going to take on the Usos probably as the co-main event on night 2 of WrestleMania, I can only imagine, it's going to be great. It's going to be epic. And hopefully this team of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens takes those belts from the dastardly Usos using the power of friendship. Now, when you consider the Usos are brothers, that, power may be a little more strong. But then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are like brothers too. So who knows? Maybe they're on even footing. I would like to believe that. But I think Kevin Owens really did sell his part. And let's give some flowers to Kevin Owens. That man, we all love KO. As a professional wrestler, he's one of the best on the mic. The man can, cut a vignette. You put him in any type of, angle and he'll make it work. The dude is great with comedy. When he was beating up Ezekiel and kind of getting in Elias's face when he came back. He's great with the drama, with this whole angle with the bloodline. He's just all around good. And he has, I think, the 2 best friendship-based angles in WWE history. Him being KO and Jericho with the list was one of the greatest angles of that time, right up until WrestleMania when they got screwed out of the either the opening match or the main event or co-main event of Mania. Jericho has gone on record saying that that's one of his greatest angry moments, that they got bumped. But the build up to that with KO and them being best friends and then KO turning on Jericho with his own list, heartbreaking. Jericho played that up as well. If you go back and watch that Raw moment where KO turns on Jericho and Jericho's like, oh, you have a list? And he kind of looks at it and he goes, my name's on this. And his face was just like, well, why? And then he got just absolutely decimated. It was such a great angle. And who was part of it? Friggin' Kevin Owens. And now, cut to Smash Cut, however many years that was before, to now, and he's in this thing with Sami Zayn, and he's on the other end, right? He's taking the hit. He got beat down. He got turned on by his friend. But like I said at the beginning of this episode, friendships in wrestling are malleable, meaning they can be twisted and sort of misshapen, but not break. They don't really break. Wrestling is ongoing. It's forever. And friendships can, they can take a beating. They can get stronger. They can get weaker. But over time, friendships just come back around within wrestling. But the reason I bring this up is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been running around this friendship tree since both of them debuted on the main roster. They've been in a very public, like, we are best friends type thing. It's very well known. It's adorable. They always reference their time in the indies or their families or whatnot. They are truly best friends, brothers. I think post Super Hug that these friends had on SmackDown, we can't do this Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn friendship breakup thing again. They've kind of treaded that ground pretty well. It's all done. Can we not have them break up as friends again? At least not in any manner that we're like, well, this is the final straw. It's like, there is no final straw. They've gone past the final straw. They picked it up. They threw it away. There is no more straws. You can definitely have them be angry at each other, but at no point will they be like, well, we're definitely not friends. Like, we don't believe you. After that hug, after that powerful hug that radiated through the arena, that had friends up in the upper decks hugging through the sheer power of friendship, there's no way that they won't be friends again, ever. I could see them saying like, well, I'm mad at you. You screwed me over, but hey, we're like brothers. The Usos will never break up. The bloodline will eventually disband, but the Usos will be brothers forever, and they'll always be a tag team. That's the same thing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Never again do I want to see them arguing about whether or not they're friends. It's done. We get it. We know it's going to happen. You're going to come back together anyway. And that's, again, what I mentioned before. Friendships are malleable. They bend and twist depending on the angle that is being run. But again, we're done with this part. We're done with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's friendship. They're best friends. Just get them matching gear. Let them be a tag team for X amount of years. Who cares? But they should, they have their singles career, and then they also have their tag team career. They're go-to tag team partners. And, maybe get them a tag team entrance. I'll push it to, what does that even mean? I'll point to something like Undertaker and Kane, where they were, quote unquote brothers in kayfabe. But after they kind of settled a lot of their beef and they became a tag team, they were always a tag team. Even when they didn't see eye to eye, whenever there was a tag match that would come up and the Brothers of Destruction needed to be there, they would come together and wrestle and beat the crap out of everybody. That's what I need from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You have to be there for each other. Friendship is important, guys. You know it. I mean, if you haven't seen the SmackDown where they hugged, which was whatever it was, go back and watch it. It's a powerful hug. And just to end off this episode, I'll just like to say that Cody Rhodes had no business being a part of this angle. They are really shoehorning that dude into all of Bloodline's business, and it's getting weird. Like, he's just showing up and sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. I mean, he did, quote unquote, facilitate this friendship get together, but I don't believe it. I don't think they needed that. They could have just done that themselves. He was just the middleman. He was middle management there, and he wasn't necessary. How did you feel about the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn resolution, and who do you want to win at WrestleMania between those two and the Usos? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening, and don't you ever forget,
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.